What is up, guys? Everyone knows by now I love stalking me some Koreans, and while looking at pics for a new underrated video, I stumbled across this guy. This is the highest win rate top laner in Korea at the moment, even better than Poppy, and top 5 in EU and North America too. Like this video if you did, dislike it if you didn't, but let's crack on with the bugger that is tank Ekko. I kind of suck at top lane a little bit. I don't play it very much. I don't play Ekko either, but I stomped people with this while topping the damage charts as full tank, so it must be busted. You guys remember a tanker Kali, right? Kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. She's still good actually, but Ekko is basically the same deal but better. We have super high base damage on our abilities, so we build full tank. We can't be killed while killing everyone else. Just look at this, okay? Look at me chasing down this Fizz. He had an Abyssal too, by the way, so he even reduces my damage, and all I have is Sunfire. I chase him down and even dive him. That is ridiculous. Other regions are catching on to how good this is right now, so you'll probably have about a week to abuse it maybe before everyone starts to ban it. One of the biggest reasons this hasn't shown up on many stat websites yet is because people are still building AP on him, which is dragging the win rate right down. I'm going to start calling this the holy trinity of tank items, but Sunfire into Iceborne into Spirit Visage is your core most games. That looks familiar, right? And yeah, that's because it is familiar. Basically every tank builds nowadays to not die but do damage. This is really also where Grasp with the Undying comes in. The heal and damage from that is so strong, and it gives us some sustain we wouldn't normally have. Kit wise, we have like a slow, a stun, your rewind to tank loads of damage and then exit, plus a lot of damage anyway. Your passive 3 hits, your Q, your E, even your ultimate do a lot of base damage. Your Q and E especially have low AP ratios and are designed to still do damage even without much AP, which is perfect for this. Something not as many people know is his ultimate also heals more based on how much damage you've taken in the last 4 seconds. So because you're full tank, you've got some more health, you soak more damage, and you heal for more. Base damage is better early into the game, where it means more basically. Base is there for early to mid game, and AP ratio is there for mid to late when you have some items. Because we're not really building damage, we are strongest mid game. In fact, our win rate drops from the highest to one of the lowest in games over 35 minutes. This pick is basically designed to hammer your lane opponent and team fight before anyone can deal with you and before your damage falls off. So basically get a lead and snowball with it. So build wise, we're normally always going to start the game with a corrupting potion. It's normally your best bet. It's going to give you a bit more trade damage with the auto damage and plus some sustain to heal back up afterwards. Your first big item you're going to build towards is almost always going to be a Sunfire. Even against AP actually, it's good health and good damage as well. You can see in this Fizz game that is what I rushed, even though Fizz is AP. For your boots, you're going to be getting Merc Treads most of the time. The CC reduction is really good, and we have so much mobility anyway. Swifties is kind of just overkill. The next two are going to be Iceborne Gauntlet and Spirit Visage. It kind of depends which one you get first based on the game. Like Iceborne Gauntlet is really good against armor and plus more damage, and Spirit Visage is increased healing plus magic resist, so if you're against AP, you'd get that second. To round out your build after those three, honestly the game's probably over by the time you've got those three, but if not, then you want to get in things like an Abyss, a Deadman, ZZ Rot, Randuins, and Thornmail. Just pick from those what you need. Mastery wise, we're going 12-0-18 with our keystone in Grasp of Undying. You have a lot of slows in your kit already, plus then you have your Iceborne Gauntlet slow, so Oppressor in Ferocity is a lot of extra damage. Grasp is going to give us a ton of sustain in lane, bonus damage, and honestly Grasp is so overpowered right now. For skill order, Q, E, W, pretty standard actually. As we said, it has high base damage, so the more ranks we get, the more damage your Q is going to do, regardless if we build AP or not. For runes, there are loads of different choices you can actually use, but I am loving at the moment attack speed reds, MR blues, armor yellows, and AP quints. The attack speed is really useful. It gives us better damage in a sustained fight, like a prolonged fight. The attack speed to proc our passive, and the AP is nice to have a bit more wave clear, so kind of mix between the two. So let's go into how you're actually going to play him. Ekko in the lane phase is kind of like a Poppy really. You hit a minion, you wait for the graspers come up, and then you jump in for a trade, do a bit of damage and leave. We're really looking for our passive and a grasp for most of our damage here actually, so an ideal trade will look more like an E to jump in, auto a few times, Q to slow and exit, trying to hit the ping back as we run away. His early lane phase is a lot like normal Ekko actually. We don't have any tank items yet, so funnily enough it's not very different. We're kind of squishy, we do decent damage, but we take a lot of damage at the same time, so diving in and out of fights is really important. Without actually hitting our stun from our field, you know, with the shield and stuff, we aren't likely going to win an all-in fight, and our mana is kind of an actual issue. Now, it is going to be a problem anyway, and I'm not sure if this was made worse by the fact I don't play a ton of Ekko, but running out of mana actually got me killed twice. His full rotation of spells actually takes a decent chunk of our total mana pool, so if you're going to fight, you actually have to save a good amount of mana beforehand. Once we just get even our Sunfire components, but especially the completed item, we become really strong, and you can just chase people down. You aren't playing burst Ekko anymore, you're playing like I'm eventually going to kill you and there's nothing you can do about it Ekko. Aim your W away behind them, run at them, force them into it, and it's a seriously good trade if not a kill. Honestly, after I got a Sunfire, I just fought them over and over. I chased them down, I dived them, and pushed my advantage. This is where I'm strongest. Now in team fights we have two jobs, I guess, and it kind of depends on the stage of the game a little bit. The first is just killing things with the stupid amount of damage you do, and especially in early fights, this is our big focus. Run at the enemy AD, absorb damage, and probably kill them before they can do anything. Your W, the massive AoE thing, that placement is really important. It can honestly win you fights completely by itself if you get that stun off. Now remember, you will not be killing people instantly like normal Ekko. You won't just go in and they'll disappear in a second, but also you won't be dying instantly like normal Ekko either. The second playstyle is more just the kind of irritating, keep them busy kind of thing. This is later into the game where you aren't able to kill the enemy AD or AP anymore. You don't have as much damage, I guess, or just when everyone is protecting them. Now if you get low, you can just ult away, but by the time they've got you that low in the first place, you will have given your team a massive advantage in the team fight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you try them out and what you think. As always, subscribe, like, comment, share, and let's go to the robots.